Hello and welcome to this video on integrator outputs. Integrator allows you to output the data that it has. One thing, for example, is that if you want to have a copy of this QED report output somewhere on your network, that can be done without any scripting or automation. We can also output if you have the option to do CAM integration, for example, with a ODB++ based CAM system or with our very own Ucamco's Ucamx CAM system. And we can define outputs that give us CAM ready outputs. In another video I already described how we can even rename the layers to conform with the conventions that we are using. So let's do some outputs. For this you need to have an administrator level account, and you go to Preferences, you click on Output Files, and this is where we define outputs. So we're going to click on Add. Let's say that we want to have a copy of our QED report. So we go down, we look at the QED report, and now we're going to tell it where we want it. In my case, that will be in a shared folder, which I access with Integr8tor, and then output, and let's make a PDF folder here. And in there, I'm going to just use the process ID that we have, or that Integrator automatically assigns. Now, when is it going to output these? Well, let's assume that we are going to do this when we have reviewed all the data. When we've looked at the job, we say it's handled. So we'll save that. Now, let's also add in the output for, we are going to output the original archive so that we have a copy of what was submitted. And again, I'm going to do I8. I'm going to go to outputs. I'm actually going to change things around a little bit and put everything in the process ID folder. And there I'm going to put, let's say, customer data. That's where we're going to put the original archive. Again, we'll do this when I put the job in the location handled. Save. I'm going to go back over here, and I'm going to change this slightly and make it PDF like this. Then let's also say that you always have access to the original data. So we do integrator I8 output. We said we put everything in the process ID folder, and then let's make a folder there called orig, and then again we're gonna call it pid.job. That would be for when you're doing Ucamx. And we should also activate it so it comes. And now what we can do is, let's make it easy on ourselves. We do Control-C. And let's actually change this one to output it when we got the order. Now, if you have the option of the rebuild data, then we can put that in. Let's say that we call this one rebuild. And let's do one more. And we'll also do the clean. The clean job is the subject of another video where we're going over what Integr8tor can do for you to save time in the CAM department. Over here, however, we will just concentrate on making the outputs. Again, this is based on the Ucamco Ucamx data. I'll call this clean. And there we go. Now we realize that you also have, that people have other CAM systems, and so I'm gonna make one here, one quick one, where I'll also gonna say, okay, make me the original ODB data, also when I place the order. And let's activate that. And for this one, I'm just gonna make this one ODB. And I'll actually put it in the top level, just to have something different. ODB PID. Once all of this is set up, we save. And these outputs are then available in two different ways. You can go over here and make an individual outputs for the particular ones that we've defined. As soon as we refresh and log back into the cockpit, they will be available to you. So let's do that. So now they are all the ones that were defined, you can now individually output. However, I defined some of them to be triggered when a job is in status handled. And I've also configured Integr8tor that when I click on the accept all, the job will go into handled. If you do, there's another video that shows you how to do that. I click on accept all, and this will trigger the process where all of the outputs that are tied to this particular status will be outputs. So we see that the progress now says output generated, and that means that we can go to our output folder. We said we put everything in the process ID, which is 52 in this case, customer data, and here's the original zip file. And then we put the QED report in the folder as well, in the PDF folder. I also defined that we have some jobs that outputs that have been linked to the ordered status. So let's go to move job and ordered. And this will trigger the outputs that were linked to that location. And our outputs are done with ordered. So we'll go to the folder, we look at 52, and there we have clean, and we have a 52 job, a rich 52 job, and a rebuild 52 job. We also have a ODB folder, that was from a previous one, 52, and here again we have the TGZ. So that is how easy you can configure the outputs. There are other ways you can, or other features you can include in the file name or in the folder and file names. You can, for example, use the word file name like this, and that is the original name of the archive. If you have any custom fields defined, like for example the customer, then you can access that with the internal database names. For example, i8_customer. This would make customer part of the path. And that is how you make outputs. Thank you for your time. Goodbye.